Welcome to RomWills Money Matters. Think about the products you have at a vending show. I'm going to tell you what, and this is very important. This is very important, especially if you have a lot of products. Like, for example, my big thing at vending shows was selling books. I always thought about, okay, what I'm going to sell, what I'm going to sell. Like, that's really what got me into relationships. That's really what got me into relationships, because I had created a small pamphlet called Finding the Right Man. And the reason why it was called Finding the Right Man, because the vending shows I was doing at the time had all of these women. It was still mostly women. So I said, okay, and they would stop by my table. I don't know. They thought I was cute or something. I don't know. But I said, hold up. Let me produce something for them. Let me produce something for them. And that's what got me started. I had the right product. Because usually if you are at a vending show and maybe you have a brick and mortar store or something like that, or maybe you have a lot of products, you don't want to focus on that. You want to have maybe your best products that will catch people's eye, something that you could sell. You don't want to have everything. You don't want to have everything. Now, there are some people who will do that. Hey, more power to them. But if you really want to be successful, have like fewer products your best thing. That way people don't have to look through a lot of stuff. Like it could be anything, shea butter, it could be your best selling shirts, whatever. Like even some people I've known personally who make clothes. They'll have a lot of clothes there, but not every single thing. You want to think in terms of, okay, what's going to catch people's eye the most? Whatever product you have, whether, product or even giving a service. What service do you have? Like at many vending shows, I've seen people who are giving back massages on chairs, and they charge a little bit of money. Now, they could probably do a full massage, get them on the table or something, but yeah, that would take a while, and that's not always the best thing. But if you get somebody, they would get somebody who would want a quick back massage, 20 minutes, have them sign up, but that's their best thing. Or if they have a best-selling like shea butter or something, they would have that on there. You want to think about, okay, what's your best thing? And you don't want to have like 20 different products, because then people have to go through them and they might not stop. You want your best product that sells. And you know this from, if you have a brick and mortar, what sells there, or you've been to other vending shows, you've noticed what sells. And that's another thing. Pay attention to everything that sells. What sells more, this book or this book? Like, or even just something little. Like when I was selling that pamphlet, Finding the Right Man, I had several colors. I had it in several colors because I was making it myself. Now, I had it in red, I had green copies, I had blue copies. All of them saying the same thing, it just had different colors. Ladies would buy the red copies quick. They would skip over it. So I got to the point I was just doing them with red covers. In fact, that's why even on my major books, I have them like black and red colors. You think about that. That's what they're selling. That's what they're buying, rather. You want to think about that. That's the product that's being sold. They're buying it like crazy. I remember talking about that time I went to a vending show. I didn't have any money on me. I literally I had gas to get home. I had gas to get there and back. I couldn't eat anything. But I had plenty of those pamphlets, and they were selling like crazy. And then people were buying some of the other stuff. But have the major thing. And then when you're setting up something, when you're setting up your best products, make sure they're where people can see them. Don't have them in the back of your table, or if you got a big old space in the back, have it up front where people can see it. People can get it. And you got to think about it. You always got to think about, okay, where is this located? And I've talked about that before, how you setting up your table and everything. But you don't need to have everything, especially if you have a brick and mortar. You want, like, let me go over that real quick. If you have a brick and mortar, you want like your best products there, like 2 or 3, and a business card. Then if you have some other stuff, they say, hold up, yeah, I got more stuff at my store. They buying something, say, yeah, let me get you on my mailing list. Here's a card from it, come visit. And then the people will come. See, when you at the vending show though, you're trying to make sales right there. You're trying to make sales right there. You want your best selling stuff. So like if you do have that brick and mortar, if you do have that website, you want people to come in. You want people who are going to pick that up. You want people who are going to look at it. You want something that's going to catch their eye too. So you don't want to have like just some messed up product that people ain't gonna look at, or they look at it and be like, ugh. You want your best looking products. Like say you selling like clothes, like some type of t-shirt. You want your best selling t-shirt. Like you had something with, I don't know, some saying on it. One of those like message shirts. You want that up front where people can see the message. Something that they can get. Something that'll catch their eye. Like when I was selling my book, Nice Guys and Players, at these shows, just the term Nice Guys and Players would catch some people's eyes. I lost count of how many times people would see Nice Guys and Players, and some would laugh but would come over. I would have some people just laugh at the title but then walk right over and say, what's this about? And I would have it. Now I had some other books, but I would make sure they would see that title because that would bring them over. You want to think about that. That was my main product. I had some other stuff, of course, but that was the main thing that would bring them over. You want to think about that. All right? You want to have, like, you doing your stuff now. If you only have 1 or 2 products, shoot, that's easy for you. But if you have several products, like say you do have that brick and mortar store or that website, you don't have to have every single thing on the table. That's kind of crowded. Plus, or, in your space. That's kind of crowded or junky. You want your best things, your best selling things, and you know that from whatever's sold on your website, whatever is sold at your brick and mortar, what is sold at past shows. Like take notes of everything. It was like, oh, I sold 20 of these and I sell these consistently. Okay, that's what you have out front where people can see it. Because remember, I said, like if you have a show and maybe 1,000 people come, you're good if you get 100 people to stop. And that's usually how people are going to stop anyway. They're going to look to see what you have, and they might look at a distance, all right? So anyway, think about it. So anyway, that's all I have. Y'all have a good weekend, and definitely with the vending, definitely have your best products, all right? So anyway, let's go make that money.